Rise, sir, from this semi-recumbent posture. It is most indecorous.
Mother, this is no place for you. I must ask you to leave the room. Besides, Mr. Worthing has not quite finished yet.
Finished what, may I ask?
I am engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
You are not engaged to anyone. When you do become engaged to someone, I, or your father, should his health permit him, will inform you of the fact. An engagement should come on a young girl as a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant as the case may be. It is hardly a matter that she should be allowed to arrange for herself. And now I have some questions for you, Mr. Worthing. While I am making these inquiries, you, Gwendolen, will wait for me below in the carriage.
Mamma,
In the carriage, Gwendolen. Gwendolen! The carriage!
Yes, Mamma.
You may take a seat, Mr. Worthing.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell. I prefer standing.
I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men, although I have the same list as the dear Duchess of Bolton has. We work together, in fact. But I am prepared to enter your name should your answers be what a really affectionate mother requires. Do you smoke?
Yes, I must admit, I do smoke.
I am glad to hear it. A man should always have an occupation of some kind. There are far too many idle men in London as it is. How old are you?
32.
A very good age to be married at. I have always been of the opinion that a man who desires to get married should know either everything or nothing. Which do you know?
I know nothing, Lady Bracknell.
I am pleased to hear it. I do not approve of anything that tampers with the natural ignorance. Ignorance is like a delicate, exotic fruit. Touch it, and the bloom is gone. The whole theory of modern education is radically unsound. Fortunately, in England, at any rate, education produces no effect whatsoever. If it did, it would prove a serious danger to the upper classes and probably lead to acts of violence in Grosvenor Square. What is your income?
Between 7,000 and 8,000 a year.
In land or in investments?
In investments, chiefly.
That is satisfactory. What between the duties expected of one during one's lifetime and the duties exacted from one after one's death, land has ceased to be either a profit or a pleasure. It gives one position and prevents one from keeping it up. That is all that can be said about land.
I own a house in the country, with some land attached. I believe 1,500 acres. Of course, I don't depend on it for my income. I believe the only people who do are the poachers, the only ones who seem to make anything out of it.
A country house. How many bedrooms?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that can be cleared up afterwards.
Oh, yes.
You have a townhouse, I suppose. A girl with a simple, unspoiled nature like Gwendolen's could hardly be expected to reside in the country.
I own a house in Belgrave Square, but it is let by the year to Lady Blossom. I can have it back any time I like, at 6 months' notice, of course.
Lady Blossom. I don't know her.
She is excessively old, and she goes out very little.
Nowadays, that is no guarantee of respectability of character. What number at Belgrave Square?
149.
The unfashionable side. I thought there was something. But that could easily be altered.
Do you mean the fashion or the side?
Both, if necessary, I presume. What are your politics?
I'm afraid I really have none, Lady Bracknell. I'm a liberal unionist.
Oh, They count as Tories. They dine with us, or come in the evening at any rate. Now on to minor matters. Are your parents living?
I've lost my parents, Lady Bracknell.
To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness. Who was your father? He was evidently a man of some wealth. Was he born in what the radical papers call the purple of commerce, or did he rise from the ranks of the aristocracy?
I'm afraid I don't really know, Lady Bracknell. I said I had lost my parents. It would be closer to the truth to say my parents seem to have lost me. I don't really know who I am by birth. I was found.
Found?
Yes, old Mr. Thomas Cardew, a man of kind and charitable disposition, found me. He gave me the name Worthing. He happened to have a first-class ticket for Worthing in his pocket. Worthing is in Sussex. It's a seaside resort.
Where did this charitable gentleman with the first-class ticket to this seaside resort find you?
In a handbag.
A handbag?
Oh, yes, it was a rather large black leather handbag with handles to it. A rather ordinary handbag.
In what locality did this Mr. James Thomas Cardew come across this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given to him in a mistake of his own.
The cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Oh, yes, the Brighton line.
The line is immaterial, Mr. Worthing. I am somewhat bewildered by what you have just told me. To be born, or at any rate bred, in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to show a contempt for the ordinary decencies of family life, which reminds one of the worst excesses of the French Revolution. And I presume you know what that unfortunate movement led to. As for the particular locality in which the handbag was found, a cloakroom at a railway station might serve to conceal some social indiscretion, has probably, indeed, been used for that purpose before now, but it could hardly be regarded as an assured basis for a recognized position in good society.
I would ask you what you would advise me to do. I need not say I would do anything to ensure Gwendolen's happiness.
I would strongly advise you, Mr. Worthing, to try and acquire some relations as soon as possible, and to make a definite effort to produce, at any rate, one parent of either sex before the season is quite over.
As that seems impossible, I could produce a handbag at a moment's notice. It is at home in my dressing room. I should think that would satisfy you.
Me?
Yeah.
What has it to do with me? You can hardly imagine that I and Lord Bracknell would allow our only daughter, a girl brought up with the utmost care, to marry into a cloakroom and form an alliance with a parcel? Good morning, Mr. Worthing.
Good morning, Lady Bracknell.